you Porsche enthusiasts, welcome back, and welcome back to the 718 GT4 and our Boxster Spyder exhaust platform. Come with me, we'll show you guys what we've got rocking in this part 2 of this video. Now, from part 1, you guys saw how good the rear section makes the car sound. It gives you that exotic RSR sound, but obviously the setup is not that loud. So what we did is we installed our over-axle pipes that are specific for the GT4 and Spyder platforms for 718s. Now what these do is these just drastically increase the volume of this setup. The rear section in titanium with that X-pipe configuration is going to give you the high-pitch RSR sound, and then the over-axle pipes are going to give you the volume. So this entire setup designed, engineered, and tested here in-house in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. The objective is to give the best experience. Come get a little bit closer here, and I want to show you guys some of our developments with these over-axle pipes. So right here you can see the factory over-axle pipes don't have any heat shielding except for the setup that's around the converters here. But what we do is we have a heat shielding that goes all the way around in order to keep the temperatures down in this area. Obviously this setup is a lot lighter, a lot better flowing than the factory setup. And we know there's no restrictions present, but we always like to have heat shielding on here, especially if you have rubber components like tires and wheels and everything and suspension in this area. So we're using our factory valve lines. The car is still utilizing the Porsche Sports exhaust button control for the exhaust. So there's no extra hardware required. Just take your factory exhaust lines, plug them into the new system, and you're in very, very good shape. So very excited about the 718 platform. You guys may have seen our GT4 RS exhaust setup and Spyder RS, but this setup for the GT4s, we wanted to take the same engineering and learning from the GT4 RS and bring it to the traditional GT4 so everybody can enjoy that RSR sound. In this video, we're going to show you startup, revs, flybys, hard accelerations. We're going to do a launch from a dig, interior clips, and as well we're going to put a GoPro on the rear bumper so you know exactly what your GT4 or Boxster Spyder, the 718 generation, is going to sound like with this exhaust configuration. We know there's a ton of great options out on the market, but exclusive materials in titanium and an extremely enjoyable sound experience is what Valvetronic is bringing to the market. We know there's not a lot of titanium exhaust configurations available, and none of which are valved. So we're very excited for this. Let's get to the sound. GT4 now, our oil and coolant temperatures are still quite low, so we're gonna get the car warmed up here nice and smoothly. But it's very important to recognize this about this exhaust configuration. The GT4s actually are quite bassy and droney, even from factory. The large muffler in the rear really, it helps bring that down, but the sound symposers and stuff in this car give kind of a bassy experience, which is quite honestly not very enjoyable. I don't necessarily know why Porsche does that from factory, but it's Valvetronic design, so we're gonna make that adjustment and make the system sound a lot better. Now, you may have seen in the first part of this video, the rear section adds the motorsport exotic sound to the platform. And this over-axle configuration as part 2, kind of the full exhaust system catback, as you would say, gives you the volume as well. So the rear section with the X-pipe, that's going to give you the high-pitched exotic sound, the RSR qualities, and then the over-axles give you a lot more volume because the over-axles from factory are just quite restrictive. So the good thing is, as we warm the car up right now, you can hear inside the car with the exhaust button not pressed, the car sounds like it's bone stock in here. You'd never know that this car is modified, and that's at Valvetronic Designs what we like to do, because yes, you can go buy a straight piped systems, even a system that has valves, but the car is going to be droney and not able to be used. It's a GT4 at the end of the day. It's a great back roads, awesome car to really enjoy, but quite frankly, you could drive this car every day if you wanted to. The characteristics and how the bucket seats fit and everything, this car is perfect. But the sound characteristics are really lacking, but you need an exhaust that's going to be flexible and it's going to give you that experience where you can have the loud and quiet, not be droney, and just give you a good sound experience. Now that we have some temperature, you can hear inside the car as the valves click open there at 4,000. This sounds a lot more like a 981 Boxster Spider or GT4 than it does the 718. The 718s are very flat sounding, but listen. The sound is a lot more enticing now with the Valvetronic full exhaust than it was before. You'll see in part 3 we're going to put some headers on this car, but even with this configuration as it sits right now is a really, really nice improvement from stock. It's important to remember, viewers, this exhaust setup will come with its own valve controller setup, and we do advise you use it, because when you have the setup configured like this, you don't get the sound down low. It's important for all you enthusiasts to remember this. This car is using the OEM exhaust modes, so even though I've got the button pushed, it's only if I'm full throttle and over 4,000 RPM that the valves open, which is a little annoying, but you know, it's very easy to install the system without the controller, but we always recommend installing the controller because it just gives you a much better experience. Little windows down. That 981 type sound, it's way, way more exotic and more interesting than the factory exhaust. Giving it that GT4 RS type sound, the RSR sound, which is so much more fitting to this type of vehicle. Sound change from open to close is really quite large as well, which is really nice. Close, 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 open. Sound Composer.